Did you just call me a liar?
Cameras don't have these.
Oh, I don't have mics.
I didn't really know, Krusty.
Mitch Gayborn, everyone.
I bring with me the mighty one.
You like that?
My windsock.
He dropped his sock.
That's one thing we were laughing at before. You're smiling so hard, your teeth are whiter than your eyes. Has anyone ever said that before?
Has anyone ever said that?
I do like that.
The thing I like about you is your eyes are larger than your teeth. I've always said it.
You can't just have your characters announce how they feel.
That makes me feel angry.
I did do the nasty and the pasty.
I'm so embarrassed. I wish everybody else was dead.
I got you an official bender hat.
Don't you remember what I told you? No!
How are the Suntories, Ralph? Oh, it burns. It tastes like burning.
I ate the peachleberries.
Welcome to No Kids 3 Money, a Simpsons podcast through the lens of time. I'm 1/3 of your host this week, Ned. Forgot your name for a second there.
And I'm gay.
Me, just gay. Just gay. Definitely type some Kirby golf later.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
that's right. Yeah, just gay. Just gay.
Yeah.
It's just one of those days where you don't want to take cock. Every cock is sucked. Everybody's blocked.
You don't really know why.
But you want to justify.
Sucking someone's head off.
No pubic contact.
So, Futurama.
I like Joe's.
What a segue.
I did not see that coming.
So another special edition of the podcast. We'll be covering season 1 or our top episodes of season 1 of Futurama today. And being that you did the most research, Matt, why don't you start us off?
Line.
Nuclear power.
Nuclear power. All right. Seasons 1, episode 1.
So I think like we kind of discussed a little bit before. It's
We did?
We did earlier on in the day.
We didn't.
It's and we never did. I'm just gonna have to do those because we don't have them on the soundboard today. Because we have a completely new soundboard.
We do?
Yes, we do.
For what?
I bring with me the mighty one.
Should have changed that to Mitchy just for this episode.
The Mitchy one.
But yeah, like we discussed earlier on, so if you own Futurama on DVD as opposed to like watching it on something like Disney Plus or any streaming service, wherever it is in your part of the world, looking at you, Boardman. Disney Plus only has 9 episodes in season 1 as opposed to, if you look on like Futurama wikis or anything like that, it says that there's 13 episodes in the first season, which would make a little bit more sense. Because how many episodes do we have in season 1 of The Simpsons? It was about 13, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, actually it was exactly 13 now to think about it. So like, it's weird that they didn't continue that theme across. But we're going to go off of the Disney Plus formula of the shows so that it works out to be 5 seasons. So you get 5 iterations of this instead of 4. Count yourselves lucky. So we'll be picking from those 9 episodes today. Matt, why don't you start us off?
All right. With my favorite, one of my 3.
Yes.
Okay. Bear with me. This will be cut. We didn't. All right. My first favorite episode of season 3 is titled
Season 3. Season 3?
I said season 1.
In the season 3.
Cram it, ugly. Titled I Roommate. 3rd episode of the 1st season. Synopsis-ish reads, episode was written by Eric Horsted. Wait, that's not the synopsis. There isn't one. I needed those. I really did. All right, I'll briefly.
I can find us. I have a synopsis here for you if you would like.
Oh, my synopsis. Thank you.
Fry gets kicked out of the Planet Express building and okay. So this is. I need to zoom this out.
So that was my synopsis.
No, now I need to scroll across, and this is going to be really weird and disjointed. Fry gets kicked out of the Planet Express building and tries to find a place to live. When Bender's antenna wreaks havoc on the TV reception, Bender is kicked out of their new apartment, and Fry must decide whether or not a place to live is more important than his best friend.
Yep.
Yes.
That's pretty much it.
That's exactly it.
Thanks.
You can't just have your characters announce how they feel. That makes me feel angry.
All right, so what do you got for that episode? Because I think that's one of the... I did notes on a couple, but that's one of the only ones... I did enjoy it, but it's one of the only ones I don't have notes on.
I think the first sort of memory that my brain holds is Fry's basically more relaxed / blasé at this point in the season. So he's sort of coming to terms with living in the year 3000, and he wakes up and he's on the table where they're having the meeting.
Yeah, that's right.
And he just starts eating cereal like sort of nothing's happening. He's in his underwear.
Herbies makes that comment about how they're going through heaps more water, and he says, since Fry's living here, I'm going to appoint him as a head of a committee.
Hey, also noticed Fry's been here for a month.
After he gets out of the shower, he turns the spaceship on, blasts his hair with radiation and gamma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
Then
All right.
immediately that they kick him out of the building?
They kick him out.
Yeah, that's right. They kick him out straight away, and then he goes to live with Bender. And Bender lives in essentially like a shoebox.
Yeah, a
'cause
closet.
He's a robot and he doesn't need any space.
Fry has like a crinked neck because of it.
Bender put in carpeting. Now my head hits the ceiling.
There's plenty of space in there. He's just like having those he's like sleep talking. Hey, sexy mama, want to kill all humans? Then he does a bit of goes around with the realtor and looks at a couple of different places. And they're all like fucking terrible. And the one of them looks all right. It's like, this place looks all right. What's the catch? Oh, there's no catch. Technically, it is in New Jersey. Then it just cuts to the next scene straight away. Yeah. I don't understand what that... Well, I do to a degree kind of thing. It's like people in New York hate New Jersey for absolutely no reason.
Yeah. It'd probably be like our version of, hey, this place is in Mount Druitt.
Yeah.
Scene missing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Like I tried to find the answer to that, and because it's in so many shows, like why is New Jersey always shit on? And it's basically because it's almost New York, but it's not New York.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's one of the outer burbs.
Because I've seen videos of New Jersey and it does look nice. Like there's nothing wrong with New Jersey.
For all you know.
Yeah. According
Looking
to
at you,
YouTube.
Boardman. Where is Boardman?
Would be so perfect if he was in New Jersey.
Is Ohio near New Jersey?
Oh, hi, Ahmad.
No.
No.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is
maybe.
now.
No.
We
Not
don't
close.
fucking know.
Is Boardman in New Jersey? He is now.
I'm just going through this plot here. At the housewarming party, Leela gives Fry a mini fruit tree. Yeah, this is way too much information.
Yeah.
That's when they have the All My Circuits watching party and his antenna starts fucking everything up.
Yeah.
So I think this like this first season, like it's good kind of thing, obviously because it's placed around or like released around the same time that like we got season 10 or season 11 of The Simpsons. So it's still good, like, you know, like jokes per minute kind of thing. But some of these episodes, especially these earlier ones, do a little bit more establishing than what they do actually spending time making jokes kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like the first episode and the third episode are really good, but they are a lot of like plot establishment as opposed to like the second episode. They made it a bit more of a zanier concept and could make jokes with it because of that.
Once the characters are established, they can go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because really like Hermes gets really like introduced at the start of this episode kind of thing, doesn't he? That's the whole reason that he's like holding the meeting. He walks in and he's like Farnsworth introduces him and says like, oh, this is the guy that essentially runs my business.
Yeah.
Where's his brain slug? We need
I
that
got you an
sooner.
official Bender hat.
Thanks, Hermes. Hi.
What is the brain slug? Ah, it was called on the floor.
Thank you. It was good on the floor. Yeah, okay, who knocks it off? Somebody like bumps into him or
It was
something and it falls
accidental,
off.
yeah.
So, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Hermes. Drink break.
I think they really established Fry's character early on as just like he's probably the Homer of Futurama in terms like he's the moron of the pack.
None of them are particularly intelligent, though.
Yeah.
Even like the professor, who's supposed to be hyper intelligent, isn't particularly like smart,
Yeah.
kind of thing, or he's like
Scientific.
senile.
He is, but it's never explained how he's built any of the machines that he's built.
Yeah, you're
That
right,
sort of
and he
thing.
just builds the most ridiculous shit, and there's never any like shown process of him actually building things. It's always just like, I built this, and it's like, how?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me show you some of the different lengths of wire I used.
And then he explains the space travel and then goes back to the different lengths of wire again.
And like, I don't know if it's in reference to the wires or the spaceship, but when he opens the drawer, Fry goes, whoa.
Yeah, we'll say the draw.
The drawer?
Yeah. It's not, but we'll say it is.
Doesn't he open a drawer full of wires?
My hilarity unit is going off.
Okay.
So what else do you have in your extensive notes there for episode 3?
My notes, you say?
Your notes, yes, specifically yours.
I mean, Gay's notes. There's a lot.
Oh yeah, happy birthday to Gay, by the way.
Thank you.
What's he going to say? Something gay, no doubt.
You asking me about my notes? Or
No, I was asking Matt. He brought it up.
me about my notes or Matt about my notes? You're right.
Well, it's also, well, you know, within the formula of these like formula of these like top 3 episodes. Did you have that in your top 3 or?
That would have to be in the top 3.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So then, what are your notes on the subject?
My notes, you say?
Yes,
Because
because I've only got the one. It's just the quote. You know, Fry, of all the friends I've had,
you're the first.
you're the first.
When they're watching All My Circuits on TV, it's got that classic, but you must know that I'm metric. I've always known. And then there's the robot in the background, and Fry goes, must be a friend of theirs. You don't remember that?
Oh,
It's like clearly like a creepy guy in the bushes watching him.
oh
And
yeah,
Fry
yeah, I
goes,
do, yeah.
Must be a friend of theirs.
What we use the metric system, right?
We do.
What does the US use again?
Imperial, which is
You
inches.
stupid.
Oh
So
yeah,
they
all
use
their-
pounds and
Not pounds. Wait,
Fahrenheit.
pounds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they-
pounds.
Yeah,
Not pounds money-wise. They have the US dollar.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Inches and miles and pounds for weight.
It is
Yeah.
the dumbest fucking one.
It's so
And
dumb.
Fahrenheit. It's fucking stupid.
Just end on a round number, you fuckwits.
A lot of them agree like that Celsius is
No,
way
they
better.
don't.
They do. You don't even know.
How many have you polled, Mitch? I mean, gay.
Several.
You imagine Cole being.
Shut up, I have AIDS.
You imagine Cole being 30
What do you have to add to this, Dave?
Huh?
How many degrees?
I mean, can you imagine Cole being 30 degrees, walking out and like shivering and being like, "Oh, it's 30 out here."
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said
30 is-
cold.
like it's 30 out here right now, and we can't even stand outside for more than 5 minutes.
The equation is Celsius to Fahrenheit is 5/9 minus 32 or something like that. So that like 0 degrees here is minus 32. Hey, I'm older than you. I know these things.
Winning again. I am the greatest.
Yes, that's the gist of what I said.
That's not the metric inspector.
So, have you got anything else for season 3 there? Not season 3, episode 3. I did it
Just
now.
in general, season 3.
Just going through Mitch's notes. Need more lube? That's a weird one.
Shopping list. Crystal meth.
That comes up. Large heart of celery. Strange also. Thick end first. Must be a reference to MacGruber. We're talking about Futurama, Mitch.
I watched it.
Did. This one stands out as a good sort of reference after the fact. It's Bender's apartment number in binary translates to $.
Who Googled that?
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love just Bender's character arc from the start is just like obviously programmed to bend girders, doesn't want to do that, but doesn't know a way out as a robot wouldn't, and then ends up just being able to fucking demolish beers / alcohol to the world's end rather.
You got
And yeah, burps fire.
Get him.
Just what you'd want in a robot. What were the rest of yours?
Was that this episode where he breaks out of the thing?
No.
breaks out of the what thing?
The what now?
He bends the bars after they go into the head museum
It must be the first episode
when he's getting his chip.
when he. Please don't touch me. It sickens me. I want you to appear very affectionate towards Mitch, but I must warn you, he hates to be touched. The first episode where they're like locked in the head museum, like back room. Yeah, that was the first episode.
Okay.
I think I would know. Which is, I have the tattoo of that. That's
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll show them that.
You do.
We won't.
And we did.
We never, did.
did.
Quick sip.
Well, why don't we move on to something with more notes?
Let's do that.
Oh
I can go if you would like.
no.
Wait. The one more note that I have for that iRobot episode, if that's what it's called.
My roommate.
iRoommate. When they do find somewhere together, like there's like an antique chair and they put it in a garbage bag and Bender stands on it and crushes it into like a bean bag.
Bean bag, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then Fry says a quote, something like, just like the year 2000, pigsty. Just everything's fucked.
Yeah.
Every cock is sucked.
What's with all the crap? It's not crap. Dr. Mabutu collected this crap while I was exploring the whatchamacallit universe. So that's the first appearance of Hattie. That's that character's name. That old lady with the lazy eye.
Oh, okay.
She's the landlord, right?
Yeah. Or super. As she'd like
We're
to
in
be
Australia.
Like the call.
Yeah.
So the first one I have notes on is, I wouldn't say that it fits into my top 3 per se, because I think these other 3 are a little more enjoyable, but
3?
Episode 2 is like unmissable kind of thing. It's like episode 1 obviously sets up a lot of stuff, but episode 2 is fucking great because they just sort of take that license to, they introduce Zoidberg at the start of it, but he only has a short scene and then they just sort of continue on with like, establishing the friendship between all the characters. Although I think this is the first appearance of Amy as well, but she's always sort of like a side character until a couple of seasons in anyway.
Yep.
Sorry. Most of these are just quotes, but like I said, I'm just using this to move myself along the plot. He's having breakfast at the start and he's like amazed at all of the future ingredients and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's talking about like caffeinated bacon and shit, like Admiral Crunch. If you don't like that, try some Archduke chocolate.
Yeah, it's
Future.
What qualifications do you have to become an archduke?
Qualifications.
Maybe. Land?
Is this like imperial time, like the US use?
Yeah. You know those guys. To become a count, Count Chocula, what do you have to be? Like,
On Sesame Street.
Do you have to own a castle to be a count?
I think so. Maybe.
That makes way more sense.
Did Count Dracula have
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
you just said?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Transylvania.
Yeah,
You stupid.
This conversation would have been way better if that fucking microphone worked.
What microphone?
I can't hear a difference.
Let's never speak of the microphone again.
That is the microphone.
And then, we get the scene of, like, Zoidberg's voice is pretty much on point from the start as opposed to people like the Professor and Bender. Their voices do slightly change when you get into what would be season 2 kind of thing.
Yeah.
I also love this quote of, like, Leela sitting there reading through all of the, like, possible causes of death from, like, space travel. Death by sonic diarrhea.
Oh, you don't want that.
Oh, no, you don't want that.
Yeah, I did write that down.
And then as they're leaving, the professor's like, if something goes wrong, bring back the blood.
Yeah, so that's the real reason why Amy's there, because he's 160 years old, and I guess young blood.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
So she's not, that's not established until later on, but it's a note that I have from another episode. They didn't actually establish her as like super rich in these first season.
Yeah, they mention it.
When?
I don't know which episode, but it was definitely one of them.
Which one?
Yeah, so that's after the period of time that I would have been talking about. So, like, that's a couple of episodes after.
I know, I
can't
wrote it
remember
down.
where it is. Oh, here it is in episode 6. Isn't Amy supposed to be super rich? How come she can't pay Bender's fine?
What fine?
So he gets, like, arrested or something like that.
Give what back?
But they say something like, Amy's parents own their own university and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, so that's after these episodes. So maybe they
Wasn't it
decided
season
to
1?
establish it. It is technically in season 1.
But no one.
If we're going off the actual,
so it must have been the Slurm factory. Oh.
Oh. Can you read your quotes for me?
Oh.
Where was I? Yes. So they go to the moon, and Fry's heaps excited to go to the moon, obviously, because he's never been before, and then he turns out that it's just a theme park. Thank you.
Like all those guys, like Neil Armstrong and the rest.
And the rest. They get there, and there's that mascot Crater Face. I'm sorry, sir. I'm going to need to confiscate your alcohol. Better mascots than you have tried. And he just shoves the beer in his eye. Yeah. And he's like, at least I still have my self-respect. He's like, and he breaks down in tears.
Is that like a parody of someone? It sort of, for whatever reason, reminds me of either Macaulay Culkin or Conan O'Brien.
No,
Crater Face.
Which episode is it?
2.
Thank you. I forgot already.
Yeah, it did give me that like feeling that it was a reference to somebody, but I can't remember exactly.
Alfred E. Newman. That's what it reminded me of. Now that I'm visualizing it.
Who the fuck's Alfred E. Newman?
Mad Magazine.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yep.
We got there.
Well,
Yep. Just gotta remember what these. Just gotta remember what these quotes do.
looks like everything's wrapped up in a neat little package then.
Maybe this one will
You
work.
can't just have your carrot.
That's not that one.
The big.
Nah.
I'm so bad.
Nah.
Don't you
Nah. None of these work.
We tried.
We didn't try.
We didn't. Episode 2, like it opened with such a good bit, like the introduction of the horrible gelatinous blob with the commercial for something. Where's that package from Earth?
Wait, is this also the episode that starts with like? Oh no, that's episode 6 that starts with advertising in dreams. I'm jumping too far ahead.
Yeah. Episode 2.
Oh yeah, it starts with the Planet Express ad. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not Evans.
I can't remember the next line. I haven't got it written down.
That's basically it. Then it cuts to the next scene in the ad.
Here's your package, Mr. Horrible Gelatinous Blob.
So hard to say. Yep. Good work, Evans. You've got a real future here.
Thank you, sir.
So this is the first instance of Magnet sending Bender crazy, which is a tiny bit of like foreshadowing for the. I can't remember what season it's in, but the episode where he actually ends up becoming a folk singer, because they make a reference to both of those things right then.
Beck, that episode?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because he says something about like, it screws up his inhibition unit, and he's like, oh, so it turns you into a crazy folk singer? And he's like, yeah, a robot would have to be crazy to want to be a folk singer. He spends most of this episode depressed now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I did put a note down after that. They get cotton candy, but it's called Orlon candy, and it's grey. Like they're.
I didn't notice that, like them getting it, but I looked at that and I was like, why is that cotton candy grey?
Yeah. So I looked it up because it's called Orlon candy, and it was an acrylic fiber. So in the future, there's no
Robot silicosis.
There's no cotton plants. Robot silicosis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing I'm going to die of.
Yeah, so it's a joke on there's no natural fibers anymore. So cotton candy is gone. Not that it's based on cotton, but it's sugar.
That's a crazy implication to make.
Powdered sugar, sir.
I had something terrible to say. I'm not even going to say. We'll come back right now.
We've left.
Yeah. I get jokes.
My next note is virtual skee ball.
So good. Yeah. I could swear I was playing virtual skee ball.
It's so dumb.
And did you guys note the names of all the other arcade machines in the background?
No, I did not.
Yep. Well.
And they are.
Yeah. They include and duplicate dodecapede, which is like centipede.
Yep.
Mortal cooperation.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Who wrote that note? Anyway. I did. Gender neutral pack person. That's probably the best one.
Yeah, that's great.
Even like today, that's like perfect.
Yeah. We've noticed a lot of that even throughout The Simpsons. There's a lot of things that are like, they made jokes about them back then and they didn't mean something completely different, but within the context of today, they gain a new level of hilarity.
Like we just keep getting more.
Pure hilarity?
Yeah. Like, was it Hot Tub Time Machine 2 where they go to the future and all jokes are like really shit because they don't want to offend anyone or something? It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Gender neutral pack person.
That's exactly. They parodied real life quite well in terms of like
15 years before that, decided to parody.
They saw where it was going.
What was it in? Harold and Kumar Escape. I don't say escape. I say escapo. Escape from Guantanamo Bay. When Harold is in like the interrogation part of it, and his family's there and whatnot, and they've got people as interpreters, but he speaks like perfect English.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, what the fuck?
He's speaking in some sort of dialect I can't understand.
Who was the actor that did that?
It was
like someone fairly big.
It was that bald guy.
Oh yeah, that guy.
And then
oh yeah,
The Rock.
there he is. And then the second scene was my favorite part. It was Ed Helms.
Yeah.
And then like Harold's dad, I think, starts talking like, we've been American citizens for 25 years.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck you're saying, buddy, but fuck you. You've never been ice fishing before? It was fucking exhilarating.
It's the fucking dude from Hot Tub Time Machine 1.
Yeah.
That dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
And his name is...
Mr. Black. Hello, I am Mr. Black.
No!
I don't know where I was.
Simpsons?
That's usually it. This one covers season 20 this week. That's nice.
Hello, I am Mr. Black.
Shut up and eat your pine cone.
What, this thing?
It's safe.
I trimmed it. I didn't.
So I think it's. Does it cut
Hey,
straight
mate, give me
from?
another drink.
Yes. Can I
Get
also
Eddie another drink.
have another beverage? Yes. So we cut straight from like the. It's Amy and Bender standing there eating the cotton candy, and they haven't realized they've lost their keys yet.
Oh.
And then.
Whatever, just give me the dollar.
And then Fry gets like upset that he can't go out into the lunar surface, and Leela says she's going to take him on the ride.
Yeah,
which is
right.
where we get the history lesson, and then straight into
We're whalers on the moon.
We carry a harpoon.
But there ain't no whales, so we tell tall tales and sing our whaling tune.
oh, it's so fucking great.
No one knows where or when how men first landed on the moon. I do. But our Fungineers think it might have happened something like this.
It starts off with Jackie Gleason.
Fuck.
One of these
yeah.
days, Alice, bang, zoom,
What's that?
straight to the moon.
That's not how it happened.
That's a TV comedian.
What's the show?
The Honeymooners.
Right. Okay. Yep.
And it's she's just like, he's not an astronaut. And that sentence is just an allegory for him beating his wife.
Yeah. And like it's 1,000 years in the future, but there's still shitty animatronic with like bits missing and shit.
Yeah. Oh, at the start, like when the whalers on the moon first turned up, Bender like shies away, just like, oh, I went to high school with that guy.
I'll swap you an empty. Where were you in that one, dipshit? Didn't let it go. That's true. He's right, you know. About the arcs?
About everything. So yeah, they're sitting there in the fucking educational ride, and then Fry decides to, which would in no way, shape, or form work. He just throws a spear in front of the cart and bends it off the track.
I do have a friend who, at Wonderland in Sydney, there was a ride that was kind of like that with like cars from like the 30s or 40s. I don't know when the last time either of us would have gone to Wonderland since it closed 20 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
But there was a ride essentially like that with like old fashioned cars, and you could kind of steer, but you only had sort of like a foot of movement before it like bounced off the track in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. And it wasn't like connected. It was just, you couldn't get the wheels over it. But he said him and his brother, you know, cranked it the wrong way at a turn and dislodged it. And they said they had a family pass. They must have gone there a lot. And he said the next time they went there, like the car that they fucked off the tracks was like out the front, like of the ride, like
As a display piece.
yeah, like they fucked it beyond, like,
Beyond repair.
Yeah, and had to try to hold their laughter because
Who was Adrian? And how did he manage to write his name in pure cement?
No, that was Jeremy. One of my other 4 friends.
I looked it up.
Whose birthday is 2 days before mine.
Okay.
So it's his birthday 3 days ago, and I haven't spoken to him in 20 years.
Happy birthday, Jeremy.
Oh, I was going to say happy birthday, gay, but anyway.
Or Adrian, as he liked to be called.
No.
Now that we mention Adrian, Dad did tell me on the swear it was on the phone the other day. He said, bring this up with Mitch because he'll have a funny story about Adrian.
Yeah, okay.
And I can't remember the rest of the context, but do you remember that story?
Just name a funny story with Adrian. What
Like he
comes
just
to,
did.
What comes to mind first was he had a really sick billy cart that was made with bicycle wheels. Is this the story that he said?
Must be.
I don't know. There's plenty of fucking stories.
Let's say yes.
He was that guy. And yeah, I guess one day he either chucked a sickie at school or had finished school, like quit in year 10 or something like that. So the bus was going up our street, which was a 30-degree incline. 31.
It's an obtuse angle. The square root of an isosceles triangle.
Right. So he was like following the bus, trying to be cool.
Yeah.
This is probably not the
his
story.
bike.
On his billy cart.
Like, how? Up road.
Yeah. Trying to think back. It was like early 2000s, so
He had pedals.
I guess he was pedaling. There was no batteries in the time.
Only if you stole them out of like roadwork signs.
It definitely wasn't powered by his own sense of
Self-satisfaction. And Adrian Jr.
So he was trying to be cool and follow the bus, and everyone was like, "Oh, there's Adrian," and like for whatever reason, it just veered right.
It was just you. Oh, Adrian. Everyone else is like, who's that guy?
No, everyone knew him. He was one of those
Sure.
guys.
Sure.
They did, whether they liked him or not. And the thing just veered left and went into the gutter, and he just flipped. And everyone watched the whole thing while he turtled and struggled to get up with one leg.
Did the bus like dramatically stop at this point at like a preferred stop of theirs? And then Adrian,
I'm sure he kept going while laughing. Please keep caressing my leg.
where's the end of this armchair?
There it is.
I got it.
Hey, you! Get your hand off my wife's leg. Okay.
See, that probably wasn't the story. He may not know that story.
That's all right.
Another time in the billy cart, that's the only other billy cart / Adrian story. He was like riding it around our front yard going, "Hey, check this out." And our yard was on an incline, 32 degrees.
I recall.
And just, hit the skids and just slammed straight into our like water meter thing. There's like the pipe sticking out with the meter in the middle.
Yeah.
He like
Pivotal.
rammed into that real good, and it put like a ding, like one little ding.
No kids. Free money.
We'll return right now.
Hello.
Anyway, his dad looked like a Hulk Hogan and came and yelled at Adrian for pumping subwoofers like all fucking day, every day for months. Like, that's the only other story that comes to mind from Adrian. Let's cut all this out.
I was going to say, your dad's not going to hear any of this, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
My dad,
No, Hulk Hogan, damn it.
he listens weekly.
Cut this out.
Or slick as he liked to be called.
There's some magical Adrian story that I'm not thinking of that is the story.
And it'll come to you as soon as the podcast is over.
Yeah, but, oh, that's right, with the drugs and the... Yeah, I don't know.
What drugs?
The money.
Give drugs back. Oh, your mum actually gave me something during the week.
Yeah,
in terms of
now that you said it,
knowledge.
I remember what it is, but I don't remember what it is.
The bear in the air
Yeah.
from the other podcast we do.
Completely
It's either
irrelevant
serious
right now.
or it's a joke. Yeah, your mum gave me something earlier in the week, boy.
We'll just cut all of this up to here and we'll talk about that next week.
Okay. Which episode are we on?
For 40
Adrian?
minutes already, and we've talked about one episode. I don't know how the fuck that was.
Two.
I've seen him changing like 7 different memory cards.
Wrap it up about Adrian, guys. Who the fuck is Adrian?
I was sitting there waiting to get in the quote. I was sitting there waiting to get in the quote of brilliant. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. You remember Adrian, right?
No.
Well, this next 45 minutes.
I'm going to make my own podcast with Simpsons and hookers. Forget the Simpsons.
All right, what should we go from?
So we go from
Episode 2 still?
yes, the part that I left off talking about. So Fry takes the the cart off road and out into the lunar surface, and he's all excited.
Shut up, Ned.
Starts talking about he's like, put on the radio. Putting the radio on, and just goes,
We're
immediately turns it off.
Oh, so good.
That was perfect writing.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
So they go from there and fall into some quicksand crater. Then Leela gets them out of it with the oxygen tank, and then they end up with the farmer, which is fucking great.
So funny.
He's talking about the fucking lunar theme park being cursed. Tilt-a-whirl's okay, but the rest is mad and wicked. If we could just borrow some oxygen, and he's like, Bori. Just don't you be touching my 3 beautiful robot daughters.
What are the first 2 names?
I can't remember.
It's like computer names, like CP049.
No, it's like Daisy, it's got a southern name and then a number behind it. And Crushinator. Yo-ho.
I think my favorite scene from the episode is after the fact that they've left and they're getting buckshots shot at them.
Hang on, let me get this one more quote in just before we get there. So just as they're talking about getting shelter there, and Leela says something to the effect of the lunar surface goes down to 170 degrees. And Fry goes, Fahrenheit or Celsius? And the farmer's like, first one, then the other.
Yeah.
Then Bender turns up.
Yeah.
And it turns out that he's been trying to romance the Crushinator, and they escape.
Why is the barn made of glass?
I don't know. You'll never find me in here. And he's just looking at him straight away.
Remind me straight away of Sandy's house in SpongeBob.
Yeah.
How she's under the sea.
The bubble.
Yeah, sea bubble.
I was going to say the bubble. I mean, sea bubble.
And yeah, there's no
It's frustrating.
There's no visual difference between
frustrating.
yeah, outside and the Crushinator. But yeah, it sort of goes from Fry and Leela having to run away, and Bender rocks up there, and they go over a ditch.
See bubble.
And yeah, the 2 more beautiful looking robots come out first, and then you just had to stay away from the Crushinator, didn't you?
No, that's a separate scene. So they go to jump the gorge, and that's when she says the line. He's like, God dang it, Crushinator, why won't you jump?
Papa, I love him.
Yeah. And the visual gag I noticed was the as they do jump the gorge, there's the alligators jumping out at them.
With the space helmets on. Yeah.
Stupid.
Oh.
It's
too easy, but it's good.
It's fucking great. That's when they find the lunar robot. Then Bender goes away because he says that blackjack line for the second time in the episode.
Yeah.
I'll make my own moon landing with blackjack and hookers.
Forget the moon landing.
Forget the moon landing. Forget the whole thing. And that's when they eventually come back out, and Bender's running back over the horizon, and the farmer's in the massive separator. You just had to come back for the Crushinator, didn't you, robot?
Was the Crushinator the big fucking
No, he's
milling
just
thing?
driving some massive.
Okay.
It's a crop separator thing.
Yeah. Fantastic still.
Then he gets a magnet attached to him, and
Yeah.
He starts singing the folk music again.
I'll kill you, Amy.
I noticed when they're in the lunar lander, there's a sign in there that says lunar lander returned to this site by the Historical Sticklers Society.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I did. I didn't.
Well, I'm older than you.
And I must have, I don't know, my phone heard me, and then I watched a video, something about the moon, what's left on the moon after that.
Sailors?
You mean whalers?
Yes.
We're whalers on the moon.
Thank you, Ned. The lander that they're in is what they launched off of, and just the gold wrapped shit is what's left on the moon actually. So the thing that they slept in is not there.
Because they came back.
In that to Earth.
Correct.
In 1980, 90. Oh, well.
Who were the other guys?
At the risk of...
Wait. That's not how it happened.
What was it? Something correct?
What? You are the best kind of correct. You are technically correct. That is the best kind of correct.
What?
Exactly.
Remember the episode where Hermes gets fired and that like the number one bureaucrat's got that like flying desk?
Yeah. You say Homer?
No, Hermes.
He did say Hermes.
You did?
Yeah.
I better go
Completely.
now. I better go now.
I have to go now.
Yeah. Who's
Don't
homies?
you remember what I told you?
No! Who's homies?
He said homies.
I thought you were some outer space potato man. Yeah, right. Yeah, the
I
bureaucrat.
got you an official Neddy hat.
Thank you. It was cold down there on the floor.
Oh, fuck.
Um,
Well, why don't we move on to one of your favorite episodes, Mitch? It isn't this one.
Got.
I didn't actually know Futurama.
Mitch, well, one, everybody. I'll handle it.
I didn't. Wait, I'm smiling so hard my Face ID doesn't work.
He's never this happy.
Must have consumed something.
I didn't.
Big Piece of Garbage is good. My Three Sons is good. I don't fucking know what a top 3 worthy episode of
Like I
season
said,
one is.
with the formula,
Shut up, Ned.
if you're looking at it through 9 episodes, it's really fucking hard to pick 3 that are better than the other.
Yeah, definitely in season 1. I'm sure season 2 there'll be a definite like top 5 at least, but season 1 it's really hard to pick.
Well, considering you've got notes on a bunch of them, why don't we just go through like chronologically? Because I've got like 4, 6, and 8.
Let's go Big Piece of Garbage just randomly.
Which I have no notes on.
You said you had 4 and 8.
I miswrote that. It's supposed to be 9.
It's one
Podcast
Ned
where nothing
knew how
could
to
possibly
write.
go wrong.
Ned knew her. Would you like me to forward this episode?
No, it's all good.
Oh.
Well, you just read what you've got. Because
I feel like we
I
watched this
remember
one like today. Wernstrom.
we were about to start it.
No. Yeah, we didn't watch this one. So you're out on this one.
Wait, Wernstrom's the
Matt Newhart, everybody.
that's the other old guy, right?
Yeah, it is the other old guy, like his rival scientist.
He was in the season 7 episode because we watched it.
Stop saying season.
Ron Popeil or Bob Newhart?
Neither.
Bob Newhart, everybody.
Professor Wernstrom.
Now, this episode starts with a dude who's a head in a jar now. And I Googled him. I'm like, who's this guy? And he's some inventor. He invented shit that people buy.
A big piece of garbage episode.
That's the name of the episode.
All right, go on.
Episode 8.
This is
I
probably the only
fucked
one
it
that I
up.
didn't watch like 2 or 3 times.
Oh, it's the Wernstrom. Yeah, well, yep.
So you were
Scratch
right.
that.
Like I said, they're your notes.
Yeah. I've recently added the episode title.
All right, go on.
Let's cut this.
And we never did.
You're right. So yeah, Ron Popeil is the host, who is apparently some inventor and invented the giant dehydrator and beef jerky machine, and he's electric pasta maker. So it's like as seen on TV.
Yeah.
Inventor.
So
Type of
like
guy.
much of the episode is a spoof on the,
The what? Much of the what, Matt?
episode. It's a spoof on the 1990 film Armageddon. However, instead of Earth being threatened by asteroid, it is threatened by a giant ball of garbage.
Please try and say synopsis in a Mike Tyson accent.
Synopsis, you mean?
I made a synopsis of this episode. I imagine his brother would die of grief.
I brought my mat. Yeah, what do you got? Because I got nothing for this one.
Um,
Like I said, this is probably one of the only ones that I didn't watch like 2 or 3 times. Not for any particular reason. I think it's just the way that it worked
yeah.
out.
So it's what are the awards for of this episode?
Awards?
A professor gets an award or whatever, or no, not an award.
It's like a symposium that he's at.
I love symposia. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So,
it's sort of like the what is it? Like, what's the biggest award?
The Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah,
it's that, but the future.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's called what?
Something about a symposium. That's all I remember.
Yeah, there might not be anything more than that. Yeah, no, I've got I just wrote down the funny lines.
Yeah.
At this point, so I've got Fry talking to the professor, like when he's thinking of giving up, I guess. Yeah, no, professor, don't give up. There were plenty of times in my century when I was going to give up, but I never did. Never. Hey, are you even listening to me? Oh, I give up. You know TV, right?
What was the tune that Bill Hader was humming in Pineapple Express?
No, that's not it. Yeah, I've got to relive the scene.
Because Ned still hasn't seen it.
What? Oh, Neddy.
I watched MacGruber though.
You saw that back in the day.
What?
No, he didn't.
MacGruber, he did.
Nah.
One of my random memories is being here and saying something about MacGruber and Ned laughed, and I'm like, what, have you seen it? And you're like, no, it just sounds funny.
And I never did.
And the other hamburger will also be made of your lungs.
We watched it. Yeah, what was it? 2, 3 weeks ago?
Like a month ago.
MacGruber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But Pineapple Express, it's got to be on something. We got to watch it tonight, man.
No, it's not.
It isn't.
What would you say your favorite MacGruber scene was?
Fucking, I don't know. It's hard to like pick between them. The sex scenes were fucking great, which is like the funniest thing to say about a movie, but just the fact that they back it up with him fucking doing it on a tombstone and that dude's in the background.
ghost.
It's just like,
Oh my god.
The best thing about that is after the fact, Kirsten Wiig did a interview about what her favorite movies were in her resume, and MacGruber was up there, but she said that the worst thing was that sex scene was filmed on her birthday.
You can see her try not to laugh in that bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, that would have been so hard.
Impossible.
Now, I just remembered what I was supposed to be Googling 4 seconds ago.
Good.
Pineapple. That jogs my memory again. I wrote
Pine.
pine, then forgot.
Apple.
Yeah.
Pineapple.
I don't know what's happened, like literally from when we stopped recording to like when we stepped out there.
The ghost.
This has like come down and now it won't come back up.
What?
So it's just like
What the fuck?
it's really
Technological bad omen.
For real, dude. Like,
tech issues.
in the early 90s, it was like, hey, Mitch, I've got a CD-ROM drive installed in our PC. Error. It's like, sorry, I got to take it back to the dodgy guy that I work with to fix it. And then it's fixed. Yep. I
Is that
reckon
one going?
Not right now.
You're fired.
Heading right toward the green, and it's there.
Perfect opportunity for him to say, did you just call me a liar?
Cameras don't have these.
Oh, I don't have mics.
I didn't really know, Krusty.
Mitch Gayborn, everyone.
I bring with me the mighty one.
You like that?
My windsock.
He dropped his sock.
That's one thing we were laughing at before. You're smiling so hard, your teeth are whiter than your eyes. Has anyone ever said that before?
Has anyone ever said that?
do you like that?
The thing I like about you is your eyes are larger than your teeth. I've always said it. My eyes. I'm not supposed to get light in them.
The goggles do nothing.
Is it going?
This is recorded.
Okay. Good.
That's bad.
I'll line it up.
1 second.
But it comes with a free Great Northern.
Alrighty.
That's good.
Back to Futurama. Let's go with episode 4. Because I have a lot of notes on it.
Agreed.
And I was going to play an entire section of this episode before I realized that it would probably get copyrighted on YouTube. And I don't really want to get another social media site angry at me.
Oh, we're good.
That's fine.
I would start checking them off the list.
And this episode is titled Matt?
Love's
Considering-
labours lost
Good.
in space.
I was just trying to confirm my notes.
Your notes specifically.
They're ours.
So the synopsis for this episode is Leela meets Captain Zap Brannigan on a mission to rescue missions from a hollow planet depleted of all the dark matter that once filled it, on the verge of collapse, but Brannigan jails the crew for interfering, rather.
I don't say
interfering. I say interfering. This episode sees
Arnie, bye, everybody.
episode sees the introduction of Nibbler. Well, it also, like, that's a weird, like, point for them to make in the synopsis, because this episode also sees the introduction of, like, Zap, Kif, like, a bunch of long-time characters, because they feature in, like, several episodes throughout most of the seasons, especially once Kif becomes, like, Amy's boyfriend.
They do?
Did you say introduction or introduction? Agreed.
So I can't remember exactly what happens in the first sequence, but they end up taking Fry out to some form of nightclub.
They do.
And then we get that fucking scene that you said, like, essentially when you got here. Oi, does that lad say that rings a cool?
You must have...
No, he said they're stupid.
Cool! Hang on, we need one of us to say it. We need a soundbite.
Cool.
That works.
I'm on cloud. Cool!
When we're whipping each other for this game show segment. Cool.
Which we still have to do later.
What do you mean we have to do?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
We've done it.
Yes.
No,
all,
Mr. Nedwood, no.
all three of us have done that.
I concur.
I probably should have written more actual plot points down as opposed to literally just quotes for the entirety of these episodes.
I didn't. So the first thing I've got written down is that rings a cool joke.
Yep.
Cool.
So they get sent on a mission to Virgon 6 and it's been mined for hollow for 25 years. It's about to collapse.
Bender gets his gaydar. He's like, I've got what they call gaydar, and has like a, separate external
Like a
unit.
Geiger meter.
It's just like, it's a gaydar.
Yeah.
You know about gaydars, right, Ned?
He really misses his own sound bites.
And the other hamburger will also be made of your lungs.
I love jokes.
Unfortunately, Virgon 6 has been declared restricted due to its undeveloped status under Brannigan's law. The Planet Express crew are arrested by the Legendaries. But hang on, I might have skipped a little bit ahead here. No, this plot's just weirdly spaced out.
Yeah. Like when they rock up to Zap's ship and it's, hey, look, it's Zap Brannigan. Wow. The Zap Brannigan? Uh-huh. Who's the Zap Brannigan?
So obviously he's like some figure of legend within the world kind of thing. And we've spoken about this on the show before. He was supposed to be voiced by Phil Hartman, but he's being voiced by Billy West is his name?
I forget who we decided it was. Probably.
It was Billy West, the guy
Sounds
that does like Fry's voice and a couple of other voices on the show.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. He's talking about, I think it's just got that like long ass scene where it's on him in the captain's chair, which is obviously supposed to be some like reference to Star Trek to some degree, and their uniforms as well. He's got Kif next to him, so they get introduced at exactly the same time. I'm anticipating an all-out dogfight followed by a light dinner, ravioli, ham, sundae bar, and he just like the whole like 2 or 3 minutes of the introduction of his character are fucking amazing, and it sort of made me sit there for that little period of time and like, would this be like particularly any better if it was Phil Hartman?
I did, on first viewing of this in our way we're doing this, which is from last week.
Completely random. Yeah.
It like the cadence and just his presence seemed perfectly like Troy McClure straight away. So I don't know. If anything, they're probably just parodying what they thought Phil Hartman would go on to achieve.
I've always wondered, or like, I think I always have wondered, and especially since we made like that discovery that was supposed to be him, have wondered whether there's like test footage somewhere, or because like it was way too close those periods of time.
Yeah.
It was
like early season 10 when he died.
Only a couple of months, or maybe even like
It was
just
the
less
fourth
than a
episode,
year.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely likely they were in pre-production. Like in 98 or whatever.
That's why we saw Uda wearing the Futurama shirt and a year before it aired.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Because it aired around the period of like season 11 or the start of season 11 or something to that effect.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Because David X. Cohen went on that 14-year break or something it was.
Yeah, he didn't get credited for a Simpsons episode between pretty much all of Futurama until it came back probably the second or third time.
Right. Yep.
And I did enjoy that from where season 10 of The Simpsons left off, like, it was good. It's still good, but obviously that's where it started to waver a little bit. Whereas when Futurama started, it was immediately not explaining anything. We're just going to show you this. It's everything in the future. And they nailed it straight away. Like, they had a great formula.
I think, like I spoke about earlier in the episode, the first couple of episodes of this season were maybe they spent a little bit of time establishing characters, but I don't know, there's something to the effect of like, because the characters are so like outer worldly in themselves, there isn't a lot that needs to be explained about them to a degree, or it's like a lot of stuff that is explained about them is explained in passing. Like we get that moment in season 2 where you get Bender speaking about, oh, magnets send me crazy kind of thing. And it's like a throwaway line to a degree, but it is also sort of like relatively just explaining his character a little bit. Or, for instance, like we spoke about Amy not being portrayed as rich in these first couple of episodes, but when we get to the university episode, she is. So there's really only like a couple of lines that explain like, oh, she's from this super rich family, and then the entire plot moves on. So don't spend a lot of time like really bogging themselves down with explaining a lot of character details. They kind of just give them to you as they are.
Yeah.
Because there's not really a lot to explain to a degree. I suppose like Fry's obviously the main character kind of thing, and he has some like deeper complexities behind him, but a lot of the other characters are just sort of set in stone, bang, from the beginning. Like Zoidberg's just a weird lobster monster. Like Hermes is this like very regimented, but obviously like, you know, Jamaican in quotation marks guy. I thought you were some outer space potato man. What's going on?
More technical issues.
Nah, we can just throw the logo over the top of it. It's all right.
I needed a break anyway, buddy.
We're pretty much done.
Like, yeah. Man, I drifted off a lot. Just went off on a tangent in my own mind. Like, what's the secret ingredient? Like, oh, fuck, I don't even know what I was thinking about.
What does make a 100% pure fart?
So yeah, like I said, I was going to
rank one stench over the other. Is it the note of sulfur?
What are the 8 factors of a brilliant fart?
Sound is part of the grade.
Sound. Reverberation.
So, like I said, the first like 3 or 4 minutes I wanted to play, but we're definitely going to get a copyright on YouTube if I do it. So there's just a bunch of quotes in a row that I've got written down from Zap. In the game of chess, you can never let your adversary see your pieces, which is like, you obviously see your adversary's pieces the entire time throughout the game of chess, which is so dumb. Or he's where he's deliberating what to do when the like ship approaches, and then Kif announces to him, it's like, oh, they've already docked with us and are boarding, sir. And he's just like, straight out of Sun Tzu's classic text, The Art of War, or my own masterwork, Zap Brannigan's Big Book of War.
Yeah.
And then my next note is just maybe play this whole section.
We never did.
Little more reference to the Mary Poppins episode.
Yeah.
Did you get that as well?
Yeah. From like when Mary Poppins works with the Simpson family, Bart gets like the dinner in front of the TV. Little more. Too much. Take it back.
Too much. Take it back. As soon as I heard little more, I was like, this is obviously got to be like some form of like through line.
Yeah.
Which is what our show is based on. And then skipping forward a tiny bit. So they've been imprisoned because they voiced the fact that they were going to go down to the planet and try and save a bunch of animals.
Yep.
And Leela's trying to like proposition or like trying to come up and see the captain, and he's been informed about it by Kif. It's like, this time we're sure she's a woman, right? Yes. Have the boy lay out my shorts. Who's the boy? You're the boy. You lay out my formal shorts.
Who can we relate Zap Brannigan to the most from The Simpsons?
Or real life.
I don't think I know anybody like that in real life.
Like a politician or something.
It's more so like way more self-confident than he should be. At the same time doing an important job.
Oh, I know someone like that in real life.
Who?
Oh, we've spoken about him several times before. The man who asked me, what's a podcast? I was like, it's kind of like radio, but not radio. And he's like, oh.
Mr. Black.
Hello, I am Mr. Black.
Krusty came down with a bad case of laryngitis.
You won't be saying anything or doing anything.
I am so Crunchy the Clown.
What else have we got here? Champagne is just my next note. He's trying to seduce her.
Yeah.
Champagne.
And although the bed hovers, it still has to be plugged into an outlet. Like, yeah.
Later on when he's like, I don't know whether it's a ploy or whether it's actually like genuinely what his character's supposed to be like when he starts crying and falling apart kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you want the rest of the champagne? And she's like, it's actually pronounced champagne. And he's like, oh God.
Yeah. It's just pathetic.
Yeah. It's pretty much like Zap Brannigan is Mo, just with way more confidence.
With more authority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good way to look at it. He's just as sleazy, but for some reason, his level in where he is kind of thing allows him to get away with how sleazy he is with certain people.
Yeah. Get Shamu back to SeaWorld.
We've lost visual.
She's at the feds. Like I said, all I've got is quotes. It's just no good. It's full of steam.
Want to try escaping again? I'm comfy.
Yeah, they're all sitting there in the towels.
No good. It's full of steam.
I have made it with a woman. Inform the men. Nibbler is immediately established as some crazy form of monster that preys on literally anything.
Yeah.
So straight away, it's just like he's like put into the aircraft carrier, or like the best way to describe it, and then just proceeds to eat every monster that gangs up on him.
Or just, any animal.
Yeah, just anything, literally. And then it turns out that he excretes dark matter, which is the fuel for the ship. There's a lot of like it's interesting, like, you know, the whole like same theme that's come through with like season 1 of The Simpsons and season 1 of this. There's a lot of things that are like established earlier on that are like sort of through lines to later things, or ideas that they just sort of like, it feels like they're throwing out there right now that they then sort of either they look back on consciously and go, this is a good idea, or they had planned completely from the start.
Yeah.
Like, because obviously, like,
You're referencing
I'm trying to figure out,
Nibbler
like,
in
if
the
you,
past.
like, if you look at like just Nibbler as a whole, right? If you look at him as a character, you wonder whether from the outset they had this idea that he was from this like prehistoric like race that was around from the creation of the universe, or you wonder whether he was literally just supposed to be this pet that devours everything. It's an interesting thought of whether they just like place this there as just like Leela needs a companion, let's just throw this weird fucking thing in there with 3 eyes, or whether they were like, this is a like complete through line to the entire series. Because if you look at it the way that we're looking at it, just through the scope of like seasons 1 through to 5,
Right.
Nibbler comes in a couple of times, like in a speaking role. I think maybe in this episode.
The big brain am winning again.
Yeah.
I am the greatest.
To Leela.
Only Fry can understand because he did the nasty in the past.
Yeah, I did do the nasty and the pasty. How about these cookies, sugar?
Throws the glass.
That fucking episode is great.
So good.
He eats the fucking chips out of Bender's head. Oh, those chips cut my mouth up something fierce. Let's go get a malt. When he's looking at the calendar, and he's looking at the girl, and he like picks it up and
yeah,
stares
that's
at the guy for like 2 or 3 seconds and finds just like
Yeah.
puts it back down.
Do you ever get the feeling you're only you're only going with girls because you're supposed to?
Don't say that. Don't ever say that. Don't ever think that again.
That's what it was.
And that solves the mystery of the missing phone.
And I'm trying to pick which episode to go through next. Or last, rather.
I was going to say.
Possible best episode type of deal.
Yeah, I would probably say the one that I was the most like okay.
Something about.
It's hard to make callbacks when you're this inebriated.
What are you talking about, Ned?
So, like I spoke about, the first couple of episodes are like a little bit of establishment, and then you move into like the middle chunk of the season, which is a lot of just like typical like Simpsons season, like 7 through 8, just jokes upon jokes upon jokes, which I use to carry the story throughout, instead of really telling a story. That they tell a story through jokes as opposed to like telling a story with jokes in it, is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
Season 9 is probably like, not season 9, I've done it again. Episode 9 of this season is probably the best iteration that goes back and forth, because it tells a story with a message that doesn't have a message at the end, but or has the invert of that message rather, but also has a lot of jokes that actually just carry the story through. Episode 9 is the episode where Bender gets addicted to electricity, which is essentially supposed to be like weed to a degree kind of thing, but every kind of portrayal
Drugs in general.
the drugs in general, but
Yeah.
every kind of portrayal of weed in like media is what I would describe as acid.
Yeah,
Like,
basically.
I've never had weed that made me feel like that.
Yeah,
I've had acid that made me feel like that.
see colours and shit. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like dancing
No.
with an electric eel
Yeah.
and stuff like
It's
that.
Nothing like that. Yeah.
Nothing to that degree. But the first note I have of this episode is this the first appearance of Scruffy? As he's seen wheeling out the Beastie Boys on the stage?
I think he makes an appearance like...
It's scruffy, but it's not
by name Scruffy. Like
It's just a janitor.
the same character model, like with the moustache and everything.
Oh, it's exactly the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
He appears, I think, in episode 7 of season 1. Just briefly, he has no talking role, but he's seen at like the board meeting or a board meeting.
Oh, okay.
Ah, right. Didn't even notice.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't pick up on that whatsoever. Because, yeah, he doesn't have a speaking role until, I'm not sure exactly what episode it is, but Fry and Bender go down to the basement.
Yeah.
And it's
Scruffy, the janitor.
Why are
seen
you
you
doing
before.
this? I'm on break. Schedule conflict.
Scruffy gonna die the way he lived.
Yeah, when the vent explodes.
Is that when he's eating the chips? Like with his tongue out like Yeah. So good.
Prison's not bad. You can make sangria in the toilet. Of course, there's the Shankins.
Derlet.
Oh, this quote made me fucking. I think I rewound this scene like 3 or 4 times because, like, it's not even like funny, but it was fucking hilarious to me when Leela's commenting on like the technical aspects of the rap that they're doing. Impressive. They're busting mad rhymes with an 80% success rate. Because Bender is like, I believe that qualifies as ill from a technical standpoint.
So funny, the blacked out, like full costume, and they're just holding their heads like, don't you tell me to smile.
Yeah, that's right. It's just like moving them around.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually, I'm pretty sure that like the third member of the Beastie Boys would have been dead by that point in time. I can't remember which one of them is dead.
I think he died after that. It's MCA or something. Or
Yeah,
Yauk.
one
I think
of
he's
them.
got 2 names. He's probably got a lot of names. But yeah, it was probably not long before he died when they recorded that.
Because it's...
We should Google that.
We should.
You there?
And
Boy.
he never did.
Google my formal shorts.
You're the boy.
The boy?
And then, so yeah, the concert finishes. Bender meets
Boys.
up with...
Google. Now.
Bender meets up with Fender.
Oh, so funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Bender. Hey, Fender.
And they go backstage and it's like, hey, how about my friends? Bender, Fry, and Leela. And they're just like, we're really not interested in meeting them.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to move the episode along. Like, yeah.
So the next quote I have is obviously like a fair bit off, so I'll try and explain a little bit of the plot before that. So Bender goes into a back room with Fender. I don't know why I keep putting that in quotation marks, but it just feels necessary. And they start jacking on, which is like plugging electricity into their heads, which is essentially like acid for robots.
Yeah.
Then it cuts to, I think, the next scene where like Fry and Bender are walking down that fucking street, and Fry's like, why are we in this sketchy neighborhood? He's like, mind your own business.
Yeah.
Goes in and like obviously gets his fix, comes out and lays in the gutter, and the fucking priest comes past and starts like talking down at him for it.
Yeah.
Did I miss something?
Good line I had that I have now lost.
And it's gone. And you had a good line, and it's gone.
Yep. Cut all this out, please.
So many numbers.
I've gone too far.
Well, anyway, as I was saying, he starts.
Something
he
Beastie
comes out.
Boys related.
He comes
I
out
don't know.
fucked up. And he's
Oh,
like,
yeah. Here we go. So I was going through my notes, right? When there's like, they go into the
See
room.
what, guys? I go through the notes like this.
Diggity.
Diggity.
Oh. Guy's under the red, son. Yeah, he's right. When Bender first goes into the room with the dudes doing whatever you call it, jacking on.
Electricity,
Yeah. And he's like, hey, Bender, I told these guys you were cool. He's like, hey, I'm no square, but isn't that counterindicated by my operations manual? And they're like, counterindicated.
And that scene was like a perfect implementation of like peer pressure to a degree.
Yeah.
Like obviously like
And robots can succumb to peer pressure from other robots.
Yeah.
Like, How is that in their programming?
Changes their program.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we get the next scene. He goes and jacks on in that like really like, you know, back alley place, comes out and lays in the gutter. The priest is talking down to him and he just goes, "Hey, do I preach to you when you're laying stoned in the gutter?" No. The priest just leaves. My next note is the first instance of Hermes hating Zoidberg for no reason.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what line it is, but he says something that like is derogatory to Zoidberg, and there's another line that I have later on that relates to that, which is, "And as a further cost-cutting measure, I got rid of the saltwater cooler," and then he just stands up. "This is a witch hunt."
Yeah.
I think he says that about the sardines as well. When Fry buys the last can in existence.
No, that's the professor. He says something to the effect of like, didn't they go out of
Extinct in
didn't they go extinct when
200s?
around the time that your people came to the planet
Yeah,
Zoidberg? And he just like tries to play it off.
Yeah.
But like, how would he know, being 800 years after that? Zoidberg hasn't been alive for that long, right?
It's just like a tradition that's been passed down that they
He just
wiped out a
knows how good
generation.
anchovies are.
Yeah.
More. Mom's fat suit. Yeah.
So where do they go after that? That's right. Yeah. So they do that. Then we get the scene of that we've been talking about all day.
I forgot
Of him
already.
going in and out of the bathroom.
It's gone. What?
When he's in the bathroom, like just before they go on the mission, and he gets melted to the roof.
Yeah. Bender, are you jacking on in there? No, don't come in.
Yeah. And he comes back out all fucking happy and excited. "Yeah, let's go. I'll be back in a minute." He goes back in. And I think it cuts to, like it just does this like, it's a nice little cinematic scene, like cinematic feature of them like going into the distance into this planet and then coming slowly back out to like signify that they've done the delivery. You there, boy.
Matt, have the boy get me another Suntory.
The boy, sir?
You get me my other Centauri.
I never did.
It's just cut straight to Fry going, I know Big Vinny said he was giving me the kiss of death, but I still think he was gay.
Did he use tongue?
A little. Then Bender gets melted to the roof, and then AB
right.
jackhammers him off.
Yeah,
the scene of him just like sliding off and hitting the floor was fucking hilarious as well.
And like probably scientifically accurate, jackhammering. Anyway, next scene.
Which is my next. My next note is just Hermes makes 2 green snake references in this singular episode.
Two.
He says something about like a green snake going up a sugar
What are the
cane.
lines, Ned?
And then
You can't concentrate. He's looking for 2 cans.
That is so loud.
Hey, Matt, you found the cans yet? Don't tell him you need another drink, Ned. He'll be there for an hour.
I'm getting pretty close.
Sorry, all I can find is the Sarah Quince drink. I told you we need. What? I told you we need to go to the bottle.
Good news.
What's the good news?
Fix this.
Okay.
Too late to start recording again now.
Way too late.
We wasted the good stuff on you. Hey, Matt, give me a fucking drink now.
What do you want?
It's been 40 minutes. So thirsty. Suntory, please. Sober man.
There's not left in here.
He said there was 40. I've busted your wall.
This episode's been a fucking clusterfuck.
The editing. The editing's going to be brutal. We already got the drinks from the other fridge. So what he's looking for is in here. Were you looking for... No, I was looking for these 2 bowls. Hey, probably should ignore that.
I done through that. I swear there's none left. It has to be. 18.
Where are the goddamn drinks? Nettie!
I told you not until you tell us who you are.
You don't get the guns till you tell me your name.
Where do you get the freaking guns?
Oh. It's so deep he hurt himself.
Oh no, that was from a hammer earlier.
Ooh, hammer. Ooh, haircut.
I got him.
Oh, blood and all. Medication.
Medication.
Get him. Just eat that damn podcast.
Oh, there is so much fucking editing to go on.
There you go, buddy.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, my next note I have is fucking hilarious. And obviously I made it because you're here. Fry, you're my friend, is the same energy as Nettie. I love Nettie.
Which is from like 10 years ago?
That was from specifically about 10 years ago.
There's
because
Nettie.
it was from Matt's
I love
21st
Nettie.
birthday. So Keegan's probably never heard this story and it was fucking great. So I'll be telling it to the listeners and you. I got to Matt's 21st birthday at maybe about 8:45 at night. Not at 9. 8:45 at night. First thing, so this is before I even got to you, right? I walked up the driveway. Jeremy, Shane, and somebody else was standing there. I walked up. I'm like, hey, guys, what's going on? And Shane just grabs me by the shoulders and goes, can you drive me home? I'm like, oh, all right, bro, no worries. So got him in the car, fucking sitting there. Hadn't seen him in a while, so I'm like trying to make a bit of conversation. Like, hey, man, what's going on? Like, fucking, you know, what have you been up to? Fucking this and that. We got to the end of Matt Street, and he just looks at me and goes, can you not fucking talk, please? So, yeah, anyway, I get Shane home, come back to the house.
Oh, so it was at least like 40 minutes after that.
Oh, yeah, like a good half an hour after that. So you would have been beyond slaughtered by then. I can't remember who you were talking to, but you were trying to have a conversation with somebody. I walk in through the side gate and you literally just pushed both of them in the chest. One of them fell into the wall. One of them fell half into the garden because you were just like, Nettie! You hugged me and you're like, I love Nettie. You said it like almost like you were saying it to yourself. It was so
Having a fully
I like
internal...
surprises.
Oh, but don't worry. You weren't the most fucked up person in the situation. 'cause
Matt was already like dead.
Oh,
like
beyond.
hours earlier.
He was like slumped on a fucking chair over to the direction of where Keegan is.
You're gone
I
in the
walk-
daylight
I
on your
walk-
birthday.
I walk in and I like see him and he sees me and he gets up and stumbles over to me and then like just uses me to stand up and goes, Nagagums. And I'm just like, happy birthday, buddy. It was about 20 minutes after that Matt went to bed. Then the chaos started, which was Matt's 21st birthday, which thankfully, like, you had the best experience of your 21st birthday. So many people had, like, the worst time of their fucking lives, which is fucking hilarious. Because, like, you got cradled off
was
the
a
bed,
celebration.
and then,
No,
like,
it
20
wasn't.
minutes later, everything fell apart. It's just, like, cunts are punching on, crying, walking down the road. And then there's all these drunk people in the backyard just losing their shit. And then there's just, like, a row of 6 stoners at the table just going, I don't feel safe. Can I please go home now?
Hens love roosters, geese love ganders.
Oh, the
Everyone
stoners.
else love Ned Newland.
Fuck is my phone? Oh, right. It's right there. So I have no notes anymore.
I forgot to write notes for this episode.
For episode 9. I did it again.
I got the transcript right here, Ned.
What you looking for there, Matt? That's the wrong way.
Yay!
Yay!
The classic sound bites.
Oh, this is fucking terrible.
Well,
Adam King.
you'll see how little notes are
What
wrote
else have we
down.
got? This is in episode 9. Is it? Oh, yeah, it is.
To the Smithers.
You can find this podcast on Apple and Spotify and YouTube. Never Instagram. We will speak to you guys next week with a more coherent offering.